Good evening. There comes a time in life when you have to make a choice about who gets to walk this road with you, a choice about who deserves your energy, your time, your loyalty. See, too many people are out here chasing ghosts, holding on to people who already let go of them. There comes a point in life when you have to recognize the truth that not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay. People change, circumstances shift, and sometimes the ones you thought would be by your side forever slowly drift away. It's not always dramatic, it's not always a betrayal or a sudden fallout. Sometimes it's life pulling people in different directions. And in those moments when someone chooses to walk away, when they choose to forget you, you have to let them go. Holding on to people who have already let go of you is like trying to hold on to sand that slips through your fingers no matter how tight you grip. The harder you try, the more you lose yourself in the process. You start questioning your worth, replaying old conversations, wondering if you could have done something different. But let me tell you, the moment someone decides to walk away from your life, that is your sign. That is your answer. You don't need closure, you don't need explanations, and you certainly don't need to chase them. Because the truth is, if they wanted to stay, they would have. The people who truly belong in your life will make an effort to be there. You won't have to beg for their attention, remind them of your existence, or fight for a place in their world. Real connections don't require convincing. And when someone shows you that they can forget you, that they can move on without a second thought, you need to respect yourself enough to do the same. Too often, people cling to relationships and friendships out of fear of being alone, fear of change, fear of the unknown. But what's worse than being alone is being surrounded by people who don't truly see you, who don't value you the way you deserve to be valued. You deserve relationships that are mutual, where love, respect, and effort flow both ways. And if someone can simply erase you from their life, they were never truly invested in the first place. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It doesn't mean you stop caring, and it doesn't mean you become cold-hearted. It means you understand your worth. It means you refuse to lower your value by holding on to someone who has already moved on. It means you trust that what's ahead of you is far greater than what you're leaving behind. People outgrow each other, paths diverge. Not every relationship is meant to last forever, and that's okay. The ones who forget you were never meant to be permanent. The ones who stay, the ones who fight for you, the ones who show up, those are the people who matter. And the moment you learn to release those who have already released you, you make room for the right people to enter your life. Chasing people who don't value you is one of the most exhausting and self-destructive things you can do. It drains your energy, weakens your confidence, and makes you question your own worth. When you constantly reach out to someone who barely acknowledges you, when you fight to keep a relationship alive while the other person barely lifts a finger, you are telling yourself, whether you realize it or not, that you are not enough on your own. You are placing your happiness, your validation, and your sense of importance in the hands of someone who doesn't even see your true value. People show you who they are through their actions, not just their words. If someone values you, you won't have to wonder where you stand. They won't go days or weeks without checking in. They won't ignore your calls and texts, and they won't treat you like an option. They will be present. They will make an effort. They will show you that you matter to them, not just when it's convenient, not just when they need something, but because they genuinely care about you. But when someone treats you like an afterthought, when they only come around when they need something, or when they consistently put you last, that's a sign of clear one. That's not a situation you fight for. That's not a person you chase. Because love, friendship, and respect should never be one-sided. The people who truly belong in your life will meet you halfway. They won't leave you feeling like you have to prove your worth over and over again. There's a difference between putting in effort and chasing someone who doesn't care. Effort is mutual. Effort is healthy. But chasing means you are running after someone who is walking away. It means you are holding on to something that is already slipping through your fingers. And the more you chase, the more you lose yourself. You start compromising your standards, making excuses for their behavior, and settling for far less than you deserve. The problem is that people get comfortable treating you however you allow them to. If you keep showing up for someone who never shows up for you, they will continue to take you for granted. If you keep excusing their lack of effort, they will never change. And the worst part, the more you chase, the less they respect you. Because deep down, people know that anything that comes too easily is rarely valued. When you stop chasing people who don't value you, you send a message not just to them, but to yourself. You tell yourself that you are worth more. You tell yourself that your time, energy, and love are valuable. You tell yourself that you deserve to be surrounded by people who see you, appreciate you, and show up for you. Walking away from one-sided relationships isn't about holding grudges or being bitter. It's about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than you deserve. Your worth is not defined by someone's absence. Too many people tie their value to how others treat them, believing that if someone leaves, ignores them, or forgets them, it must mean they weren't good enough. But that's not the truth. Someone walking away from you is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their choice. And people make choices for all kinds of reasons that often have nothing to do with you. You could be the most loyal, loving, and supportive person in someone's life, and they might still leave. You could give them everything, your time, your energy, your heart, and they might still take you for granted. Not because you weren't enough, but because they weren't capable of appreciating what you brought to the table. Some people don't know how to value what's in front of them until it's gone. Some people are too focused on their own issues, too distracted by their own desires, or too blind to recognize the gift of your presence. But none of that is about you. None of that changes your worth. Your value does not decrease just because someone fails to see it. A diamond remains a diamond, whether someone treasures it or tosses it aside. The sun continues to shine whether people acknowledge its warmth or take it for granted. And you, no matter who leaves, no matter who forgets you, still hold the same light, the same strength, the same worth that you always have. The mistake people make is internalizing rejection as a personal failure. They replay moments in their minds trying to pinpoint what they could have done differently, wondering if they should have tried harder, been better, said more, said less. They start believing that if someone left, then they must not have been lovable enough, interesting enough, important enough. But the truth is, the right people will always see your worth without you having to prove it. The right people will choose you not just when it's convenient, not just when they need something, but because they recognize your value. Sometimes people leave because they were never meant to stay. Sometimes people forget you because they were only meant to be in your life for a season. And sometimes people walk away because they simply don't know how to appreciate something real. But none of that should ever make you question yourself. Their absence is not a measurement of your importance. It is not a sign that you are lacking in any way. If anything, it is a sign that they were never the right ones to be in your life long term. You do not lose value because someone walks away. You do not become less worthy because someone fails to recognize your greatness. You are still whole. You are still enough. And no matter who leaves, the right people, the people meant for you will always stay, not because you begged them to, but because they see you for who you truly are. Some people are only meant for a season. Not everyone who enters your life is supposed to stay forever. Some people come to teach you something, to help you grow, to play a role in a specific chapter of your journey, and then their part in your story ends. But too often people hold on long after a relationship has run its course, trying to force something to last that was only ever meant to be temporary. It's natural to want to keep the people you love in your life. When someone has been a big part of your world, it's hard to accept that their time in your life is over. But just because someone was good for you once doesn't mean they're meant to be with you forever. Growth changes people. Experiences shift priorities. Sometimes the connection that once felt unbreakable starts to fade, not because of a big argument or a betrayal, but simply because life is pulling you in different directions. The mistake people make is believing that just because something was good in the past, it must still be good now. They cling to memories, to old versions of people, to the way things used to be, instead of facing the reality of what is. But people change, and you can't hold on to someone who has already moved forward. You can't keep forcing a connection that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. Some people are meant to be lessons, not lifelong companions. When a season ends, it doesn't mean the time was wasted. It doesn't mean the love wasn't real. Some people come into your life to show you what love looks like, even if they aren't the one meant to stay. Some people teach you how to be strong, even if they were the ones who hurt you. Some people reveal your worth by walking away, forcing you to stand on your own and recognize the power within yourself. Every person, every relationship, every experience, no matter how short-lived, leaves something behind. The pain of letting go often comes from resistance. People struggle to accept that things have changed, that the bond isn't the same, that someone they cared about no longer fits in their life. But holding on to something that has expired only creates suffering. The moment you accept that some people are only meant to be in your life for a season, you free yourself from unnecessary pain. You allow yourself to move forward without resentment, without bitterness, without questioning your own worth. Not everyone is meant to go with you to the next level of your life. Some people were placed in your path to help you get to a certain point, but they were never meant to cross the finish line with you. And that's okay. The ones who are meant to stay will stay. The ones who are meant to go will go. And every person who has touched your life, even for a brief moment, has played a part in shaping who you are today. Focus on those who truly see and appreciate you. In a world full of distractions, full of temporary connections and half-hearted relationships, it is easy to waste time on people who don't genuinely care. It is easy to give your energy to those who only show up when it's convenient for them, to keep investing in people who never truly invest in you. But life is too short to keep pouring into people who don't see your worth. There is something powerful about being surrounded by the right people, people who value you, respect you, and support you without conditions. These are the people who don't need reminders to check in, who don't disappear when times get hard, who celebrate your wins as if they were their own. The people who truly see you will never make you feel invisible. The people who truly appreciate you will never make you question your place in their life. The problem is that too many people chase the wrong ones while ignoring the right ones. They spend years trying to impress those who barely acknowledge them, hoping for love from people who are incapable of giving it, waiting for validation from those who never had their best interests at heart. And in the process, they overlook the ones who have been there all along. The friends who always pick up the phone. The family members who always support them. The people who never ask for anything in return, but continue to show up day after day simply because they care. When you stop chasing those who don't value you, you create space for those who do. You free yourself from the constant exhaustion of trying to prove your worth. You allow yourself to receive the kind of love and respect you have always deserved. Because real relationships don't require convincing. You don't have to beg someone to appreciate you. You don't have to fight for a place in someone's life. The right people will choose you. Not because they need something from you, but because they genuinely want you in their world. Pay attention to who claps when you win. Pay attention to who checks in when you go quiet. Pay attention to who stands beside you, not just when everything is going well, but when life gets hard. These are the people who truly see you. These are the people who deserve your time, your energy, your love. The rest, the ones who only show up when they need something, the ones who take you for granted, the ones who make you feel like an option, let them go. The company you keep shapes your energy, your mindset, your future. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, who bring peace to your life, who remind you of your value without you ever having to ask. Life is too short to waste on people who don't appreciate what you bring to the table. Give your time to those who do. Keep moving forward. Your story continues. No matter who leaves, no matter who forgets you, no matter what setbacks you face, your life does not stop. Too many people get stuck in the past, trapped in memories of what was, holding on to people who have already moved on. They replay conversations, wonder what they could have done differently, and let the absence of someone else dictate their future. But life doesn't pause for anyone. Time keeps moving, and so should you. It's easy to let loss define you, to let rejection shape your confidence, to let disappointment make you bitter. But the strongest people are the ones who understand that every ending is just a new beginning. Just because someone walked away doesn't mean your story is over. Just because something didn't work out the way you planned doesn't mean there isn't something better ahead. The pain of letting go may feel heavy, but it is never heavier than the burden of staying stuck in a place you no longer belong. You are not who you were yesterday. Every experience, good or bad, shapes you, teaches you, strengthens you. Growth requires movement. It requires change. And sometimes that change comes in the form of people leaving. Sometimes that change comes in the form of a door closing, a chapter ending, a path shifting. But if you spend too much time looking back, you'll miss what's ahead. You'll miss the opportunities waiting for you. You'll miss the new relationships, the new experiences, the new levels of growth that only come when you choose to move forward. Letting go is not about forgetting. It's not about pretending something didn't matter. It's about understanding that some things are meant to be part of your history, not your future. It's about realizing that your worth was never tied to someone else's presence. That your success, your happiness, your purpose, none of it is dependent on anyone but you. The people who walked away, the ones who forgot you, the ones who didn't appreciate you, they do not have the power to define what happens next. Only you do? You will meet new people. You will experience new joys. You will create new memories. The pain of the past will not last forever, but the lessons you take from it will stay with you. Every step you take forward is a step toward becoming the person you were meant to be. And the more you focus on what's ahead, the less power the past will have over you. Some doors close so better ones can open. Some people leave so the right ones can enter. Some seasons end so new ones can begin. Nothing in life stands still. Everything is in motion. And no matter what you've lost, no matter who has left, no matter how hard the past been, your story is far from over. You owe it to yourself to turn the page and keep going. At the end of the day, life is too short to hold on to people who have already let go of you, chasing those who don't value you, questioning your worth based on someone else's absence, and refusing to let go of those who were only meant for a season will only slow you down. Your energy is too precious to waste on proving your value to the wrong people. The ones who truly see you, appreciate you, and choose you will never make you feel like you have to beg for a place in their life. So let go of what no longer serves you. Stop fighting for connections that aren't meant to last. Shift your focus to the people who show up, the ones who support you, the ones who celebrate you without conditions. Because your story isn't defined by who leaves, it's defined by how you rise, how you grow, and how you keep moving forward. The right people, the right opportunities, the right moments are still ahead of you, but you'll never find them if you keep looking back. Keep moving, keep growing, keep becoming. Your story is far from over.